Hi, welcome to the Honey and Harry Show. I'm Honey.
And I'm Harry.
And today we're going to be talking about pets and some of the pet stories. And if you have any pet stories that you want to share, please chime in.
Yeah, type them in the comments and we'll put them on the screen and we'll talk about it.
Absolutely. And I have my Dolly earrings on for Dollywood. I wanted to say that because they flooded. And but they're back open.
Wow. Okay.
They're back open.
That's good.
But, you know, I just love Dolly Parton. She's like the best. But anyway, so we have today a show about all of our pets.
Yeah, and I think like everyone, if you grew up as a kid, most kids had pets, probably several of them because pets don't live forever. And and then when you're parents, then you have kids and then there are pets showing up there too. So we're going to talk about some of our pets and some of the funniest stories we have from them and what kind of characters they were. So that's what we're going to really be doing tonight. Let's see, I've got a...
so why don't we start off, Dad, with like your pets?
Yeah, yeah.
Like let's start off because like you're the older one. So.
Yeah, right. Okay. So back when we were, let's see, we had moved to the parish. We're out in Metairie, and my brother and I were little kids who would come home from school. We only lived about 2.5 blocks from school, so we would walk to school and walk back. And somewhere along the line, we ended up getting a dog, and I have no idea where it came from. But it was a little runt and a small dog. I don't know what kind of dog it was, probably a Heinz 57, you know, some kind of blend. And the dog's name was Poochie.
Poochie.
Okay, so Poochie was fun, but we were such rambunctious boys playing with the dog.
I can't even imagine.
That we kind of turned Poochie into sort of a semi-maniac dog, you know. So the real episode, I remember 2 episodes from that time frame. One of them was that we built out of some wood. I don't know what kind of thing it was, but we built a little doggy palace. And Poochie would go inside the doggy palace, and then there was a little sliding door that we had, and we could open up. Well, I was practicing my engineering, you know.
I can tell. Yeah. Goodness.
So there was a little sliding door that we would pick up, and when Poochie would come out, we would be in the yard with towels and play Poochie and the Matador. So we would do the thing that a matador does with the towel, you know.
And the dog probably went crazy.
And the dog was barking and going crazy and so forth. And the dog would like latch on to the towel, and when we spin the towel around and swing the dog. These are what boys do with pets, okay?
No.
Right. Yeah, but one of the fondest memories we have was that this dog, and they talk about this with animals, especially dogs. They talk about dogs being able to sense when their master is coming home and actually know it, you know, and I don't know how they do this, but they have some sense of that kind of thing. And so when we were walking home from school, Poochie would run to meet us, run out of the backyard and come down the street and meet us. We would yell, Poochie, 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 Poochie. like boys do.
Yes.
Right? And Poochie would come and meet us. So that was kind of a fun memory. Now, there's one vague negative memory, and that is that we had trained Poochie so well to latch on to cloth and towels and things like that, that when anyone came out of the house to hang up sheets and towels and shirts on...
Oh, no, because, y'all probably had clotheslines.
Yeah, we had clotheslines.
Y'all had clotheslines back then.
And
I
apparently
bet
there was...
Ma was so mad.
Yeah, there was... you know, we're going back, 65 years, so I really don't remember the story, but it's something like maybe Mama was having another baby and Aunt Elmira was over at the house taking care of things, or Grandma was taking care of things when Mama was either, just back from the hospital or something, but Poochie got in trouble with somebody and Poochie disappeared. So I hope it wasn't the bad kind of disappear.
No.
But Poochie disappeared. That was the end of Poochie. So the next one on the list is Rosita. This is another story I remember very vaguely. But my grandpa, he raised Chihuahuas he had a whole flock of raised chihuahuas. He raised a lot of other stuff too. He raised parakeets, and he had peacocks in his yard
And a monkey.
And monkey. Yeah, you remember the monkey?
I don't remember the monkey. I just remember the story.
The story about the monkey.
The story about that. And I remember going to his house.
So I had a lot of allergies when I was a young kid, and I was always constantly having colds and stuffed up and stuff like that. And supposedly, a short-haired Chihuahua was good for kids who had allergies.
No, I don't think so.
It doesn't sound right to me. But
definitely don't think so.
That was probably an old wives' tale. But we ended up with Rosita, who was a little wiry Chihuahua.
Rosita.
You know,
I love
much
that
much
name.
like the one we're going to describe in a little while. And Rosita, would come in and out of the house and made a pretty good pet. But one time, and I don't know who was responsible, but I'll take responsibility for it. One time, boys are running in and out of the house. We run in the house, and the screen door comes slamming behind it, and it slams on Rosita, and it hurt her leg. I don't remember whether it messed it up completely or not, but Rosita disappeared after that.
My young dogs. It's not a good thing.
We were hard on dogs.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
And I'll tell one more now. Now we're grown up, and that's Margaret and I are married. We're up here at LSU, and we're in the married students apartments. But before you came along, and her dad used to have a cat village at his house.
I know.
And you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember the cats.
So we got a little kitten from that and brought up to LSU. And we were in the married students' apartments, and you're not supposed to have pets in the married students' apartments. But
y'all broke the rules.
We broke a rule. You see, sometimes we do break rules. And Mickey was just a little kitten. So Mickey didn't make a whole lot of noise or anything like that. And, but Margaret would go to work and I would go to school, and Mickey would be fine. And Mickey slept with us in the bed between us. And Mickey was cool.
He was a good cat.
He was a good cat until maybe the inspection, bug people or somebody
That's
came
what Mom
by
said.
and said, I'll put a pet here. So we had to get rid of Mickey.
Poor Mickey.
So Mickey was a good little pet, but didn't last too long.
And then Mom said that all my uncles gave me a cat. But Mom can't think of the name of it.
Yeah, we were trying to remember that, and it was, again, a little kitten, and we had it for a little while, and then one weekend we came back, and it was gone, and...
It was an outside cat.
It was an outside cat. And so that was that. Hopefully the coyotes didn't get it.
Oh, my gosh. That's so terrible. Back then, now, our pets are our families now, whereas back then... I guess everybody's just, you got to take care of the family. You don't have extra money for pets.
Pets can be expensive.
They can be very expensive and stuff. So, but then we have to give a shout out to Trampus.
Okay, well.
Okay, that was my Aunt Patricia's dog.
Yeah, well, it was the house dog, and I know Patricia was its favorite, and but it stayed on even after Patricia left, but it was. And I think the dog lived to a very ripe old age, and actually, I think went blind in its older years. So you had to watch where you walked.
Yes, my brother and I would definitely test the limits with that dog, especially me. Yeah. I would get on this rolly thing and roll right by it, so it would try to bite me.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Well, and it was a Lhasa Apso, which I think is a dog that has hair coming down on its face anyway.
I just remember that dog always being in a bad mood.
Yeah. And if I remember right, it didn't have a whole lot of teeth either.
I don't know. It bit, though. It surely could bite. It bit me a few times.
Yeah. And there's some stories about that dog biting people because it was, trying to keep from getting stepped on, I guess.
I don't know. That was a mean dog. But, I mean, Aunt Patricia loved her dog. So
yeah. So now we got dogs that you know about.
Yes. Cookie,
the first dog that was really your own dog.
It was me and Matt's, but I guess it was more me because y'all were at Marriage Encounter. I think I was maybe
that came from one of the Marriage Encounter couples, didn't it?
It did. I think I was was I 6 or maybe? I don't know how old I was. I was young. Matt was little.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got Cookie, and she was so sweet. That was a good dog.
That was a good dog.
She was very sweet. And then
Very docile, very calm.
Like I don't have anything bad to say about her. Just a great dog. And who was that gave me that dog? That was when we'd go. My parents did marriage encounter, and like they would go for weekends, and sometimes I loved it, and sometimes I didn't. So,
right. But you did end up with a dog.
Those people had like a barn.
Yeah, something like that.
Who were those people? Oh, the Matherns.
Matherns, yes.
The Matherns. Mom said, I see. I don't even know who they are now.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, they gave us Cookie, and then we got socks. So
yeah, then.
So here's the thing. My parents must have been weak, or they just didn't want to deal with me. I don't know what it was.
Very weak.
Like. My ideas are never great when I was young. So I remember going walking, and I don't know if Stormy's listening. She'll probably remember this too, because we were walking down. Guess when you could go walk down the sidewalk, and we were just walking through the neighborhood one day, and this man had a litter of Catahoulas. Remember, he was a Catahoula.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right.
And I fell in love.
Yeah, it was down the street.
It was right down the street. Yeah, right. It was not too far.
Right.
And of course, I found one that loved me and needed to come home with me. And came home crying and just wore it out. And
Didn't you drag us down there, or did you bring it down here first? Huh?
No, you came home from work, and Mom said no, and you're the one that said yes.
Oh, okay. Weak parents.
I know. So I brought you down there to see the dog, and you said yes, and I was like, when? But this was the worst dog you could possibly. Oh yeah, I would share ice cream cones with Cookie. Cookie was sweet. She was not rude. Whereas Socks would just eat the whole thing. Socks was a horrible dog. I mean, he wasn't. You know what? He was a dog that needed to be on a bunch of land.
He needed a lot of room because he was rambunctious.
He was very rambunctious. I mean, he was a Catahoula.
Right.
He was a great dog. He just needed space, and our yard's huge.
Yes,
but he needed
big enough, you'd think, but not really that big.
Not really. He needed to
need a farm or something.
He did. And then Socks and Cookie had a baby. Why your dogs weren't fixed, I don't know.
But is Socks the one that tore through the door?
Yes, I forgot about that.
Tore through the workroom door to get to Cookie, right?
Yes, when she was had her baby.
Yeah, right.
That I forgot about that.
Yep.
He did.
Pretty insistent dog.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Well, he was worried about his wife.
Right.
And his baby.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, Cookie had puppies and only one lived.
Only one survived, right.
And I remember Father Larry came to our house. Do you remember that? He came to our house and he blessed the one dog that lived. Right. So I knew if I used that, because Mom and Dad loved the priest so much. I knew that when I was young. I love the priest too, but I knew it then.
Those dogs needed a blessing, though.
And I said, because she was gonna die, and I was like, oh, we have to keep this dog. The Father blessed it. It's for us.
Yeah. Right. So then we had 3 dogs.
And they were, and Cookie was great, but the other 2 were heathens. And Muffin was just full of hair. Remember that?
Yeah, right. Very matted and a lot of hair.
Yeah, and we gave her away. We gave both of them away to good homes.
Yeah.
We
don't remember where Socks went, but you said that Muffin went off in a Volkswagen convertible with some young girl.
Yeah, so that was a good thing. And then Matt, I guess I was a dog person when I was little. Matt got Sir Walter. That was a cat.
Yes, and he was the strangest cat.
Oh my gosh.
Because he would let you do anything. You could pick him up and hold him with one hand. He'd sleep on your lap.
He was so sweet.
Most cats don't pay attention to you and just ignore you, but he was like a dog. He was like a friend, He
was like Matt.
Yeah.
He was easy.
Laid back, yeah.
Very laid back, very easygoing. And he got that from that cat was 2 houses down. That was Miss Gertie?
It was several down, yeah.
Mom, who was it? Miss Gertie? I think it was Miss Gertie. Muffin was a maniac.
Right.
Remember the dog would bark and the neighbors called and all that? It was terrible.
We ended up having our backyard filmed, videoed by our neighbors because the dogs were like taking over the world, and we couldn't get back there to even mow the grass. So the dogs, it was like they were on a farm, except it was right in the middle of town.
Oh my God, I know, I remember that. Oh, it was Miss Jimmy. That was her name, Miss Jimmy. So Miss Jimmy, that's where Matt got the cat. He would go spend all of his days. I remember he was at Miss Jimmy's one time. I don't know if y'all remember this, because I remember. And Mom was like, "Where's Matt?" And I was giggling. I was like, "I don't know." And she's like, "You're lying," and all this stuff. I was like, "I'm not."
He's with the cat.
And I was like, "I had no idea he was with the damn cat." Oops. But I had no idea. And Mom's like, "I know you're lying. You know where Matt is. You were driving around the neighborhood looking for him." So I got a spanking. And yeah, y'all gave me a spanking.
Can't believe that.
And I was still like, I don't know where he is. And then we went to look for him. And then Mom finally went to Miss Jimmy's, and he was laying on the hammock with the cat.
Well, our children would hide sometimes and not tell us where the other one was. So there is that.
Well, I don't remember that.
You don't remember the other. Right.
No, I'm just saying I deserve probably every spanking I got. But I'm just saying that was probably the one time reason I remember it, because I got a spanking. I was like, wait a second.
So Walter was a black and white cat,
Didn't do
right?
anything, huh? Yeah, Walter was
two-toned.
Two-toned, and he had like a cape, and he was sweet.
Yeah, that's why he was called Sir Walter.
Yeah, he looked like Sir Walter Riley.
Right, exactly.
And then Bud.
Bud the cat.
Bud the cat. That was
Where did Bud come from now?
I was in high school, and I was at Colleen's house, and I think it was sophomore year, and her cat had babies. And her mom said, "You're not taking the cat home unless you ask your mom." So I called, and my mom said, "Absolutely not." And then I brought the cat home. This is why I was getting spanking sometimes, because I was a liar and didn't listen.
Nah, couldn't be that.
And so I brought the cat home, and I loved the cat so much. I mean, Mom and Dad were just like waving the white flag probably at that moment. Like,
yeah, we've been through quite a few.
Do you really want to like battle me on this cat?
No, we were worn out by that. Yeah.
Do you want to take that battle? No.
No. So there was like I say, another cat in there somewhere, and actually we have like 3 cats who think they own our backyard as they pass through.
Haley feeds them.
Haley feeds them. Yeah. Matt waters them, and then they go 2 or 3 houses back and forth. They sleep under our car because I guess it's cooler under there or whatever, you know.
Absolutely.
So we still have transients that come around and so forth. So that's kind of our animals from the distant past, but we have some favorites from the more recent past.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that we want to talk about. So let's see. We're going to do the first one, I think, is going to be Callie.
Oh, Callie.
Yeah. Now, Callie was Matt's dog, and I think he got her as a castaway when he was living off of Burbank somewhere.
She's a rescue.
A rescue dog, yeah.
She was literally... all of Matt's animals he picks out, like we got to get Matt to pick out the animals because he gets the best.
They're chilled. They
are so chill, and they're so good, and they're kind. Mine aren't so much. They fit his person. You know, dogs fit the owner's personality sometimes.
That's what they say. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think Matt's so gentle and sweet. That's why she was so gentle and sweet and kind. Yeah.
Now she was like a border collie mix.
Brilliant.
So she had a very smart dog and had a lot of guarding the plantation kind of things and checking out whether there was animals in the yard that she had to go herd or something like that. And we used to tease because it was like she could sense the slightest motion of anything outside.
The squirrels, yes.
That's
remember
right.
the squirrels?
The squirrels were the big deal.
Yeah, the squirrels were huge back then. I remember that, Callie.
Yep.
Callie was the best. She really was. Yeah, and that's Odie down there with her.
Yeah, Callie lived about 16 years or something like that.
Yeah, she did.
And
poor thing.
It was sad when she was gone. She had a bad last year. You know, we tried to take care of her, and finally she passed away.
She was the best. I miss her.
Yep.
When looking at her, I miss her.
All right, our next one up here is one of your pets from you.
Tebow. So we got Tebow. Santa brought Tebow. No. Santa didn't bring Tebow. I'm sorry. We got Tebow when our other dog, Santa brought one of our dogs. And then that dog died. And then we found this guy that was, he actually gave us Tebow and the sister.
Okay.
And we gave Chucky the sister. And I think the sister was really bad, but Tebow was so good.
Yeah, Duke was the first dog?
Duke died.
Yep.
Duke did die. But yeah, Tebow, I mean, he was sweet. I can't say anything bad about Tebow. He was such a good dog. Loyal.
Yeah. Well, labs are like that. I mean, they're just great family dogs.
They are the. I mean, labs are like one. They're just the best.
Now, which one of your labs? Maybe it was Duke. I don't know which one, but which one of your labs ate Troy's boots?
Oh, that might have been Duke. Or I don't know.
I don't know which one it was.
How about this? They weren't mine, so I didn't care.
Well, the problem is labs will chew on like anything and everything.
They do. And look, and I'm going to tell you, when he was a puppy, but I had 3 kids. So really, the kids were outside always playing with the dog.
Playing with the dog,
and then he'd come in at night and sleep. But then they were outside with him, and the neighborhood kids would come, and he couldn't wait for them to get home from school.
Right.
So he really did get a lot of activity. Labs need a lot of activity.
They do, because they can get fat awfully quick.
Oh, yeah. Well, and he just, the kids threw balls, and, they were just constant with him, and he would take him down to the park and all the things. So he was a great family.
And you got to keep the bag of food away from the...
Oh, he'll eat them all. He would eat everything. This dog... I was like, this dog will eat everything. Anything you would give him, he would eat.
Yeah. And if you left the bag out, he'd eat until the bag was empty.
He did. He loved to eat. But he really was a good dog.
Exactly.
He was. I miss him.
Yeah, here comes one of your favorites here.
Okay, this was my child.
Child number 4.
This is my child that was so good.
Oh,
that never did anything wrong.
No.
That was so obedient.
Yeah.
This is the one that loved me no matter what. Okay,
That's right,
I can't say that for all. I love my children, but this was the best child I had ever had.
Yes, right.
Obedient to a fault. As you can see, he's perfect. He is. He's so, look at him as a pilgrim.
Yeah, I know. He wore a lot of outfits. You can see him there dressed as an elf or something like that.
His favorite time of year was Christmas. He would come with
dress up, yeah.
Yes, he would dress him up, and he loved the Christmas tree farm.
The amazing thing was he didn't seem to mind the outfits at all.
No, he liked them.
He kind of liked them, yeah.
He
looks handsome. Look at him modeling up there.
Well, he was a model. I have people tell me, oh, you should get oh, look, Peanut, my sweet angel. I know, we can't even talk about it. Like, sometimes Peanut and I'll start to talk about Odie, and we literally cry when we talk about it.
Yeah.
Because,
such a good pet.
If there's heaven, I know there's a heaven.
This one's at the Rainbow Bridge, right?
Well, I'm just letting you know, God, you got to let me in, because, don't be putting me in purgatory.
Sarah said.
Do not. Look.
Now, Odie could be intimidating.
He could bite. He did bite.
And he had a little rattle of a growl that said, stay away from me right now.
I know. And then, look, I'm telling you, I can't even... I've thought about getting another dog, but let me tell you what's happened since he got cancer, and he had congestive heart failure, and he was on Lasix. And I remember I took him to the vet, and they were like, the cancer was growing out. Peanut was out of town. I really think that's why we've had all the bad juju lately. She didn't come in to see him die.
Yeah, that was a sad time.
I think he's mad at us.
Yeah, he's upset.
He's upset about that.
He didn't arrange things right.
And the funniest thing is, too, when he did die, and he was on the deathbed, and they were telling us, but first they told us, like I said, I tried to save him.
Right.
They said we could cut the leg off, but they said he wouldn't make it through the surgery.
Right. Because of the heart failure.
Because of the heart failure. Right. So that was devastating. So anyway, we had to FaceTime Peanut to say her goodbyes to him, which was, he's probably mad about that. But anyways, when we all told him bye, Duty came to tell him bye, and he tried to bite his face off.
Oh, no. So he was...
He hated Duty.
He was steadfast to the end.
Well, Duty aggravated him.
Well, he did. He would get on his case.
Well, Duty chased him.
And boys do that. They just rattle the dogs.
Well, Duty was great with Tebow. He was great with Tebow, but he's not a Chihuahua person. You have to be a special...
And a Chihuahua picks his friends, okay?
I have not been able... So anyways, the bad juju, we've had... you know,
all kind of stuff
Lindsay
go
got
wrong.
sick,
Yeah, right,
you know, the baby, mom, everything in the past 4 years since that dog has been gone has gone wrong. Okay.
So is that a curse?
I don't know what it is.
Odie, you a good guy. We know that.
But you know, I'm going to tell you, I have not been able to even look at another Chihuahua because, like,
well, you can't replace Odie.
Who compares to him?
No, it's not going to happen.
This is perfect. Okay.
All right. Then our next one.
Oh, this is Lindsay's dog, Dutch. So Dutch, I remember I went to go to Lindsay's apartment in Southeastern, and again, Lindsay's kind of like me. She was like, "Oh, they have these puppies." I'm like, "No, especially a lab."
But they're so pretty. It's so nice. Yeah.
I opened the door, and here comes this little lab walking out, and I'm the same way as y'all.
It was a cute dog, though.
It was a cute dog,
Very
so
cute
I said, "Okay, if you can take care of it."
Right.
And she couldn't, so it became her boyfriend's dog, which is her husband now, Ryan.
Who really loved him dearly, though.
I mean, God, and his parents, thank God, they sent him to hunting school. He got trained. I mean, he got treated so well. They took great care of him. And then Lindsay and Ryan got married, and gosh, he was there for everything with Lindsay, and then passed right before. Lindsay. Right before Lindsay started chemo, he passed.
Yep. But
I don't think he could take it anymore.
Now, it was typical lab, though. If you brought him inside, you have to, like, protect your furniture and your china and everything else because his tail was strong.
Oh, yeah. He'd knock the kids down. I remember that. Like, the babies would be walking around and, there goes a kid, you know?
Boom!
But he was a good dog. I mean, he was a high-strung lab, but he lived inside. He was a good, good dog.
Very good dog.
Yeah. And so now we have Esther, who is... I just babysat Essie, and we love Essie, but oh my goodness, Essie.
Essie has more energy than three dogs combined.
I'm just going to let y'all know, I am a Chihuahua mama. I am not a poodle lover. I mean, I do like poodles. They're great. But that is not the dog she's look how cute she is. How can I talk bad about her? I mean, I love her. She's sweet.
Oh, yeah. Very handsome looking.
She's sweet and all the things, but again, like I'm comparing every dog to Odie, and that's probably not fair.
Probably not. None of them could live up to Odie. More personality than any other dog. You know?
I couldn't even let Odie sit on Santa's lap because he'd bite him.
Yeah. Now, Odie would stick around the house. I mean, he would stay around. He would maybe...
This one runs away.
This one will not. Okay.
I know.
This one wants to explore the world.
I know. Essie is something else, but we love her.
So we have, you know how... grandparents have to child-proof their house when the grandkids come over. We have to child-proof our backyard.
Oh, I know.
When Essie comes over.
Well, Essie will run away.
Because she would run away.
And she's crazy in the car. Like she screams when we drive her in the car, and I was just so used to a well-behaved animal.
Is Essie still considered like a puppy at this point?
No.
Or Essie's old enough to be mature, but
she's in her 20s or 30s.
I'm sure that's true, right? Yeah.
She's the escape artist, Peanut said. She is.
Absolutely is.
She is. But Peanut loves her, though. Peanut's always like, oh, I want Essie. And I'm like, I love Essie. I do. But again, she's a lot. And she's perfect for her family, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody would put up with what she puts up with.
Yeah,
with the kids.
Yeah.
Especially Miss Pearl.
Yeah, no, that's right, exactly. So she fits in real well.
And every dog, I mean, that's the they love that dog.
Great personality.
I love her. I do love her. Of course I love her.
I tell her not to jump on me when she comes over.
Yeah, but she jumps on everybody.
She jumps anyway. So.
Yeah, she's going to jump on everybody.
Yeah.
So, but we have another favorite.
Yes, we do. And it's not really one of our possessions.
It is my grand dog.
Yeah, it's sort of,
Mr.
there
Moons.
you go.
Oh my God, look at him. He's so perfect.
Yeah, so, that's a personality there. Look at that dog.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah.
So,
but Moose looks like Moose went to graduate school, got a PhD, and then went to teach somewhere. It looks like such a, if he could smoke a pipe and hold it with his hand, he probably would have one,
Well, he's a good, Essie.
No, he's a pretty well behaved.
I know, Mr. Moons. I know, we love Mr. Moons. So the thing is, when Bailey, so Peanut's roommate got Mr. Moons during COVID. And we love his name is Moose, but I don't know how Mr. Moons happened, but I think Peanut started Mr. Moons. But he was a really good dog. And Peanut, her roommate, was so great because that was like her baby too. And poor Bailey had to pay for everything for the dog. But Peanut got to enjoy
the dog.
And we do too. Like we babysit him anytime Bailey needs to go out of town. We'll babies because he's so well behaved.
He would come over to family dinner every Sunday.
Oh yeah,
so,
he likes family dinner. He really does. I know he's so sweet. But you know his name when they first got him, and Peanut, if I don't get this right, I think it was Mr. Coltrane.
Mr. Coltrane.
Was it Coltrane? I don't want to see, but I think
right?
And I think that's a rapper.
No,
Coltrane
in the old days, it's a saxophone player from 50 years ago.
Yes, that's it, Mr. Coltrane.
John Coltrane.
Yeah, so he does look like a Mr. Coltrane.
Giant Steps was his most famous tune.
Yes, that is it. I know. Yeah. So we love Moose. I mean,
we miss him. We miss him.
We do, and like Bailey's very sweet, and she does share him with us, which is nice. So like anytime she goes out of town, we're always like, I know her parents want the dog too. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So she's got we got visitation rights. It's a divorce.
Now I think Moose though, if when Essie comes over, Moose starts developing a little more active, engaged personality.
Well, he's trying to save his life.
Yeah.
Because
he's trying to survive.
Essie torments that poor dog. He does not miss her. I promise you.
But he gets with the program and he kind of play acts and does some of the jumping around and stuff like that. But usually he's very reserved.
He is. He's polite and he doesn't. And look, that's a dog that lived in the apartment and never had an accident.
Right. Now, that's pretty impressive.
It is.
Yeah, there's some dogs that never not have an accident.
I know. And that's what Peanut said. Essie does torture Moose.
Yeah,
it's so sad for him.
Yeah. Well, it's not out of spite. It's just, Essie's character.
I just wish Odie was around because Odie would put Essie in check real quick. I promise you it would not be good.
Unless it was thundering outside.
Oh, yes. Essie. Oh, look, Bailey. Yes, Bailey, thank you so much for letting us watch him because we really do love him.
He brought a lot of joy.
We love him. I know. I'm so glad. Well, I feel like, Bailey, when y'all aren't roommates now, I was like, okay, I'm getting visitation rights with the dog. Okay?
Right. We have to write that into the proceedings. Yeah. Exactly.
I know. We love him. He's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. I haven't seen too many pet stories from our fans out there.
I know.
If you had one, we certainly want you to name your pet and tell us how lovely the pet was. Now, we're in Margaret and I anyway, it's like pets are a serious obligation.
I know.
You take on a dog and, you got an 8 to 16 year obligation.
I know.
And if they are temperamental or healthy or unhealthy or purebred, then you have even more work to do, So you don't want to just on a whim just go get a dog, because that's not fair to
It's not fair to the animal. And that's how I feel with I would love to get another Chihuahua and I would love to get a little one and it would be I would make it just the most perfect animal, but again, if we go out of town, you can't bring your dog.
No, you got to board them or get a friend or somebody to take care of it.
I mean, I just have and I've been raising kids my whole life and taking care of animals my whole life. It's kind of like I did it. I'm sad. I wish I did. I mean, I have times I go back and forth, but look, after having Essie this past weekend, I'm good.
Yeah, you had your dog filled for a little while.
Yeah, and that's the good thing. We have Mr.
It's like grandkids, our great grandkids.
It is, and I have Moose, and except we cry when Moose leaves. We're like we would kind of think about not bringing him to Bailey and kidnapping him.
Well, can't do that.
Just teasing.
Dog napping is not permitted.
I'm teasing Bailey. We won't kidnap him. I promise.
But if you got kids. Pets are just fabulous.
Oh, they are. I have the best memories with
a picture I did not put in here for some strange, bizarre reason. I can't get it up to put on here right now. But I wanted to mention in memory Carter's fond memory of George.
Oh yeah. Do you have it?
George, I have it somewhere, but I don't think I can.
That's
I can
important.
get it. Yeah, I don't know if I can find George here.
Yeah, because it's not just about cats and dogs.
Yeah, no, because sometimes a pet can be rather different and unusual, and George was.
Oh my God. And that was such an ordeal. I had him that whole weekend. We had like the best weekend with George, but I didn't know.
Let's see, that came from Margaret or you?
No, it came from me.
Oh, came from you? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I have it right here, but
okay. I just don't know how to get that up on the screen, so
oh my gosh,
it's not gonna work here. But tell us about George while I try to get it.
Look, maybe they can see it on my phone.
Why don't you talk about George for a second while I try to
okay.
To make it happen.
So
here.
Carter, when we went to the beach, he got one of those butterfly things where look, there it is too. I have it up here. That you know that thing where there it is, Dad.
Yeah, I have it here. I just don't.
Oh, you can't upload it.
Not sure. Well, I'll let me try. You keep talking.
Okay. So, anyways, so George was. They had you get this thing, and they turn into little pods, little caterpillars, and then they turn into butterflies, and then you just release them. Oh, look, there it is. And
yeah, but I can't get it up there for them to see.
Oh, okay.
Problem. Yeah.
But anyways, he was a butterfly. So when all the butterflies like flew away, George had a broken wing. And so we couldn't just leave him outside, so we kept him as a pet. And he lived for 2 weeks, and that's what butterflies live. Did you know that? I
2
Googled
weeks? That's not a very long time.
No, they live about 2 weeks. So he lived for about 2 weeks, and it was like the best 2 weeks with him. And we gave him watermelon, and if we got close enough, you could see his little tongue, and he would like suck that watermelon juice up. So, but yeah, we had a good weekend with George.
Let's keep going.
And then we have, I know, but I'm going to tell him, we didn't get the pictures, but we had Butter the fish. That was a blue, what are those fish called? I don't know what it is. It's some kind of fish, but then it died that Carter and Pearl had. And then, when was it? Last year? Not this past year, but the year before, Carter and I won a fish. And of course, Lindsay and Ron were like, we don't want the fish. We don't want a fish. Like, don't win a fish. Well, of course, Honey wins a fish. And that fish is still alive from the fair. So that's like craziness. That's like a miracle. Like, but that thing is like doing amazing. And, fair fish usually die.
All right. So, I got him up there.
Okay. Oh, look, there's George. And he had the little, and so like he would just hang
around.
He hung out in my house because he couldn't fly. And we would let him that's him eating the watermelon. We put it on that little thing.
Right. He loved watermelon, apparently.
He loved the watermelon. So, but anyways, that was George. I know that was a lot of work to get George up there. But then the fish is still alive. The fish has been living over a year from the fair.
That's pretty crazy. Because I remember we went to some parks or something and won a goldfish for you one time, but I don't think it made it.
Died.
I don't think it made it very long.
I remember one time my kids won a fish and I put it in a bowl and like just overnight until we could get something. And in the morning, we saw it on the side of the counter dead. It flipped out.
Right.
Yeah, because fish don't live. But their fish, and they had another fish, Butter, that lived, but this one is Goldie that's still alive. So, but yeah, all kind of animals that people have. And I think that's really cool to have a pet, and you can have any kind of pet.
Yeah, now, I was thinking, that if you're, an older person and you don't have family that's close to you, then a pet is really an enjoyable thing to have with you.
Absolutely,
because it provides companionship,
Oh, it does provide that. And that's what's so good about having a pet. I'm telling you, like, Odie was my man. And, like, just the fact that he's gone, it's just, it's like, why can't he live forever? Yeah. Because he was so good.
As much as I enjoyed pets that we had all the time, that we had some rough experiences, of course, here with some of our wild pets. But I remember I was at a company dinner with some people up in New Jersey or so forth, and the conversation turned to pets or something. And I said something that was casual or flippant about pets, and the person on the other side of the table went into rage mode, like, pets are the end of the universe for us. They were dog people who really just loved their dogs. And I backed off at that point,
Well, you got to watch that kind of stuff too, because like, you never know.
Yeah. But anyway, so if you're in the local area here, then watch out for your little pets outside. Don't leave them unattended.
Oh my gosh, no, don't leave them unattended. It's too hot too.
there are all kind of things. There's hawks. There's coyotes.
Oh, I know. Well, when Odie would tan, we would see the hawks start to, because we have that pasture behind us.
And some of these dogs, like when Essie was very, very little, and other dogs like that, they can pick them up and carry them off.
They can. They can. I had a friend of mine whose little dog got carried off by a hawk.
Yeah. So it's a serious thing if you got little ones. If you got a big old lab.
Big lab, you're good.
Ain't no hawk gonna pick it up.
But we don't want the lab out in the heat.
No, because they really
it's too hot
suffer.
Right now. Yeah. All my dogs, they know. None of my dogs ever slept really outside at night. I mean, they would play when the kids would play, but when they wanted in, I let them in, and I just
let them enjoy the air conditioning a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. We can't see if anybody's.
Let's see if we got any more comments before I go away here.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't want to lose that. We want to thank. Oh, here's Andrew. Okay.
Hey. Well, they have a baby too. Andrew,
look at that.
What's y'all's dog's name? I forgot. They have a cute little dog. And that I think that dog is for Sharon. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know
helps
what kind it is, but indoor dog, I'm sure though. So.
It's a little Cocker Spaniel, I think.
Oh, cool.
What kind of? I forget the dog's
I always
name.
like the Cocker Spaniel. I like their ears and the curly hair and stuff like that.
They're so cute. And Aunt Patricia had a Cocker Spaniel too.
That's right.
She did. Yeah. And then their dog passed.
And then she would dog sit for her daughter's dog.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
A lot. So.
What did they have? A boxer?
Something along those lines.
Yeah, I know they got a new dog, Mom.
Got a new one, huh?
Yeah,
okay.
that's I'm talking about the new dog, not Tipsy.
Yeah, I don't know what the new one is.
I forgot what the other one was. But anyways, but yeah, that's it. I guess it about the dogs.
Yeah, I
want
to thank everybody for tuning in. Allison, thank you. Margaret, Peanut, Sarah, Bailey, and Andrew. Thank y'all for chiming in tonight.
But Dad, I'm going to say it out loud here.
Okay.
Oh, Aunt Patricia, Lady and Graceland, it was a German Shepherd. Okay, I remember Lady.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. We were going to do a show. Let's tell them what we were going to do. We were going to do.
Let's see if anybody's interested in this. I don't know exactly how to pull it off, but
all you have to put is a disclaimer. We own no rights to this, and put it on every clip.
We don't want the show banned, but we were going to.
How would they ban us from that?
Well, they give you copyright strikes, and then they can shut your channel down.
Gosh.
No, we wanted to do a show on your favorite movie of all time. But of course, to have such a show, it would get boring after Honey and I finish, because that would be 2 movies, and we could talk about other movies, but we would need a lot of audience precipitation if we're going to have a show like that. And the problem really is, to some extent, that you get into trouble unless you're a professional movie critic. It's difficult to get fair use from showing clips from other movies, from people's movies, and so forth.
But you don't even have to. Like, you can just say, "What's your favorite line from?"
We could do that.
Yeah, we could do. I mean, I'm not saying we have to do that now, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. That would
be because the 80s rocked with the movies. I mean,
well, I will admit that most movies today are not very good, and if you're not into the Marvel series, there's nothing out there much to watch, because that's what every movie is.
Well,
it's another Marvel thing.
I don't go to the theater, and I don't like any movies that are out now. I think they're all pretty much.
Although I will tell you that apparently Robert Downey Jr. is going to be cast as a new figure. I know he supposedly died in the Iron Man movie somewhere along the line.
I didn't watch that.
You didn't watch that? But I like Robert Downey Jr. He was kind of a cool actor. So he's supposed to be some new superhero or something in one of the movies. I'm not sure he's a good guy or a bad guy, but that's what coming out. But there's only 37,000 Marvel movies anyway, so you can't.
I know. I mean, I feel like it's the same thing over and over again.
Well,
I mean,
we used to watch some of these series. We had a good one that was on TV for a while. It was called Arrow, and I think it was really, really good. And then, for some reason or other, after 3 or 4 seasons, they brought in these strange characters like Flash. So Flash has a superpower. I didn't like superpowers. I like superheroes who did stuff, but they didn't do it because they had some kind of magical superpower. So the Arrow guy was good because he could shoot the arrows really well.
See, and I love the superpower.
You like the superpower?
Because that was, remember on the cartoons, it was the Wonder Twin powers activate, and they go, and it's like, wow.
Okay. All right. So maybe we got a fruitful discussion that we can have. Okay.
Or like, so the 70s and the 80s were pretty cool.
Yeah.
They were cool.
Yeah. So we got to talk about more than Elf, though. Okay, so.
Well, that wasn't even. I mean, that was one on my list, but that wasn't like.
Okay, well, we won't tell everybody about that one, but anyway. Okay, so if you might have to endure us talking about favorite movies, but if you do, come on, and we'll talk about your favorite movie too. If we've seen it, if not, just tell us what you liked about it, and then we'll move on from there. So. Yeah,
and I'm going to be working hard on getting guests.
Yeah, we have a couple lined up already, but nobody in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. Somebody might.
I'm gonna get back to it. Summertime just is such a weird time for people. Everybody's traveling and kids are home.
Right.
And schedules are off, and it's just it's a very weird time.
Right. So when we get back around to September, we'll be back to.
We'll kind of be hopefully back to.
We'll be almost a year when we get into September.
I know, and I think we're going to ask. I think we should ask Patrick to come back for sure.
Get our first guest back on. He's got some stories to tell based on what happened
everything
since
that happened.
then.
Yeah. So I think that would be great to have him back on.
All right.
He's so interesting.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with whomever we have. It could be just the two of us, but that'll be good anyway, we know. So we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and be safe.